What's going on, y'all? Forward Favorite Man. We back with a video. We're doing a reaction to Pixar Fire's All Woke Staff. Let's get into it, man. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, man. Let's get it.
A movie, not hundreds
Shout out
of
to the
millions
Vinny
of dollars
Show.
of therapy, says Pixar's new leader. In one of the hardest lines ever spoken to entertainment publication Variety, the Hollywood director and CEO, the man in charge of Pixar, says we are no longer going to be using our brand to make hundreds of millions of dollars of therapy for mentally ill people and niche audiences that lose hundreds of millions of dollars. That's what he's saying. This is the article from Variety. Disney needs its next hit franchise. Can Pixar's reluctant leader deliver? The Toy Story studio used to print money, but Disney hasn't made an original blockbuster in a decade. The top creative executive admits he's made mistakes. Is, of course, a very bad trend line for Pixar, where they just keep losing money on the films they are cranking out. And there's been a series of disastrous disappointments, culminating in Elio. Doser is his name, Peter Doser. And he's pushing Pixar to re-embrace universally relatable concepts like talking toys and monsters in the closet, which made it a juggernaut. He says, as time goes on, I realize my job is to make sure the films appeal to everyone, he says, and not to create hundreds of millions of dollars worth of therapy. Whoa. And what an unbelievable line. And of course, backed up by the catastrophic problems inside of the Disney studios. Here's a Christopher Rufo obtained video from Disney's all hands on deck meeting about the Florida parental rights bill. This was in the second year of the Joe Biden administration, when wokeness was at its peak and Disney was trying to prove exactly how gay they actually could be. And
family of Disney TVA.
Straight up admit
the showrunners were super welcoming. Meredith Roberts and like our leadership
in your children's
so
entertainment,
welcoming to like
listen to this,
my like not at all secret gay agenda. And so like I feel like I felt like it was, I mean, like maybe it was that way in the past, but I guess like something must have happened in the last like they are turning it around, they're going hard, and then all that like momentum that I felt, like that sense of I don't have to be afraid to like, let's have these two characters kiss, let's in the background this, like I was just wherever I could just basically adding queerness to
wherever I could. I was just basically adding queerness to my Disney products. And how did that go for them exactly? Executives blame Disney's massive Lightyear bomb on LGBT inclusion, because of course this becomes the actual narrative. Your niche boutique issue that is for 1%.
And this was that movie. I was thinking what movie it was, and I was like, I wanted to say it was Soul, some Pixar movie to where it was like a lesbian couple, but obviously it was the Buzz Lightyear movie as they're displaying currently, right? And that's the era we live in, ladies and gentlemen, to where people want to be too woke for no reason whatsoever. It's just like there's agendas being pushed just because. And me personally, I never fully understood it. This whole everybody needs to be accepted type of narrative, I'm just not a fan of it, because there's right, there's wrong. And in today's day and age, we just glaze over that. And as a society, people just glaze over that. They omit principle and have a morality and some type of standard. It's just willy-nilly, free-for-all. So, honestly, I'm glad this is getting addressed.
Of the population, right? 1% of the population is gay or trans or whatever. That becomes then suddenly the headline that everybody reads, and they're like, I'm not taking my kids to that. Call me whatever you want. You don't deserve my money. Pixar had to do a lot of soul searching after Lightyear flopped at the box office.
Trash.
It wasn't just Lightyear. Obviously, aggressive advocacy storytelling has caused other massive bombs, like Elio bombed. It cost $150 million to make this trash. Pixar staffers break down over cuts to trans storyline in kids show. Can't tell you how much I cried. So now
Yeah, like why is we doing this to the kids, man? We're harming the kids. Like there's been several movies, and it seems to be Pixar solely that's throwing in these subliminals, and it's like you don't need to do it. The fact that they try to subliminally or like even sprinkle it in a little bit already lets you know it's some type of weird agenda, right? There's some type of hesitance about being so forthcoming with it because we know it's not appropriate. Let's keep it honest. Like
the staffers at Pixar are weeping because Disney has axed transgender storylines from upcoming Win or Lose series. Nobody ever watched it. Nobody cares. The storyline goes like this. Here's the story. So the kid is wondering whether to go in the girls' or boys' bathroom. This is the big question. Where do I go into? And they just
come on, man.
To go into the bath. Why is this a kid show? Like sitting, like you really need to do like a whole thing in the kid's bathroom.
Wow. The fact that they're trying to display it as you questioning whether or not, like you have an understanding of if you're a male or a female. I don't know where bathroom I belong in. Where should I? Like, that's kind of excessive. And I would think that if people aren't considerate of the fact that feeding information, displaying content, imagery like this to children isn't crossing the line, people who feel like that's okay really need to get the mental evaluated. There's people who think that, young as 12 years old, being in elementary school, that you have a savvy understanding of the genders and, gender dynamics. It's crazy to me. Wild.
Whether you belong in the girls' or boys' bathroom, then it creates all this angst for the kid. The kid runs away, screaming and crying, because the kid doesn't know if they belong in the girls' or boys' bathroom.
Wild.
There you go. Give us money. We're Disney. Apparently, that didn't work out great for them. And now Peter Doser, who's in charge of Pixar and who's been in charge of like a lot of bangers, Up was a banger, Monsters Inc., Inside Out, Soul. These were all good Pixar. These are like the sort of the classic Pixar movies. He's out here saying we're not making hundreds of millions of dollars of therapy. He's the chief creative officer. Dozer told the Wall Street Journal Pixar must focus on stories that appeal to everybody, not a string of unoriginal flops.
You see, like the whole appeal to everybody moniker is just, I think that ain't it, man. Just in the sense of like, who cares about trying to satisfy or appease everyone? That's where you go wrong. You lose focus. There's no clarity and you lose quality at that same time in terms of content or any type of creation, right? But with that being said, it's like no consideration for humanity. Like I said, having some type of moral standard or compass. Like when you care more about being accepted than doing what's right, we've already lost it. And that's the day and age we live in, to where what's right is seen as wrong, what's wrong is seen as right. People don't really care about standing on things that have some type of substance or substantiality behind them, like substantiality behind them. Like, it's like, keep it honest, man. So I don't know, weird day and age we live in. If you're not monitoring certain things as a parent, your children are getting brainwashed. Easy as said. So comment down below, let me know your thoughts on this. We'll see you on the next video, man. Peace, love, prosperity. God bless.